Hello, I'm the owner of a medium-sized pool. It's homemade DIY style over-the-ground box. Doesn't matter what shape it is because it's just a container to hold water. Last year I was using a consumer-grade paper cartridge filter and it wasn't good enough. I believe 3 of those would have a better chance. I guess it's a common mistake to take pump flow and not filter flow into calculations. This year I decided to buy a sand filter pump. What I bought was on sale with no media. The pump and filter is rated for sand to be a bit above my pool capacity, but now I have a dilemma of what filter media to buy. I could go the sand or the glass route, but I could also go the filter balls route, and I can't find a non-biased comparison. What are the pros and cons of using sand, glass, beads, or filter balls in a sand filter? And do you know the water flow and filtration rates of an average product of each type?
So that's kind of, there's a lot of holes in that question that I'll try to fill in. First off, you started by saying that and welcome our goat Howard here. He's part of our pool team, farm, whatever. Anyway, Howard's decided to join me here in the video. He is a 6-week Nigerian dwarf goat. But when you, just in the beginning of the question, you're saying that the pool system or the filtration system is a bit undersized. That's going to be a challenge no matter what. I think any media you choose is going to be a little bit of an issue, but let me give you my unbiased.
I think the way it was worded was a little tricky.
Okay.
It said it is, I read it the same way, a bit above my pool capacity. So maybe
it's a bit larger. It's a bigger system.
Maybe.
Okay. If it's a bigger system, well, that's certainly better. If we look at the different mediums, sand, while it being the most traditional, comes in many different grades of sand and fineness of sand. You certainly want to pay attention to that because some sand is just too fine for certain filters. But that's sort of your starting level, and your micron filtration is a little bit less. On a microscopic level, it'll trap a little bit less. The media balls, while they're intriguing and they're interesting because they're multifaceted and there's lots of room for algae and things to stick to, and that's the whole philosophy behind it.
And putting them in the washing machine sounds a little.
There's a bit too taking care of them. I would highly recommend them if you had a pond scenario, much like this thing behind me here. This boat that we have sunk in the ground has koi fish. A great thing for that. I'm not really a fan, unless you like the extra work. I'm not necessarily a fan of the media balls in a pool itself. I think glass has proven to be tried and true over the last 5 years. I mean, prior to that, we have very little knowledge about it, but that seems to be what happens with the glass, because you start with a layer, of course, over the fingers of the filter, and then you add the fine. That tends to be the best filtration. But there's another option as well. The Zeo Light products, Zeo Best, Zeo Bright. There's a few other ones out there. That's also a really good product. That's a natural product that's milled and taken from underground and then cleaned and dried out and then used as well. The downside to the Zeolite products is they don't have the longevity. They wear out after a number of years. They start to break down and you have to replace them. So for me, from my perspective and my 30-some years of experience, I think this is my 34th year doing this, if it were me, I would choose glass media as the means to keep the pool clean.